board made up of councillors and chief executives of local authorities, so very much driven by local authorities. So what David talked about is the community council project that we have been working on with the Scottish Government. It's jointly funded by the Scottish Government and the Improvement Service. It started in December 2013, and it was to look at the support that community councils received and see if there's any sort of sustainable way of working with community councils to support them, whatever means that was through. So it ran for about 5 months, and then a programme of work was agreed, which ran from April last year and ends on the 31st of March this year. And that was really looking at how we could support community councils.
Okay.
So the project's aims and objectives. We wanted to create a national brand for community councils, and we also wanted them to create a dedicated website which had promotional materials as well, and sort of shouted about some of the good work that community councils were doing. We also wanted the website to host some induction and training sort of resources, just to really tell the public what is it that community councils do, to inform them if they were interested in standing to become a community councillor, what their role would be, what community councils did for statutory obligations, as well as other sort of community engagement events that they led. So we wanted all of that to be publicly available from the website. As part of that, we know that the local authority support to community councils is completely different across all 32. In some ways you've got local authorities that are very good in the support that they provide community councils, and others don't provide them very much support in terms of their induction and their role, as I was speaking to a lady about earlier on. So we wanted to at the very least have a central sort of set of resources that would give people the very basics of what the community council is and what community councils do. Also, the project was looking at how we could support community council liaison officers better to do their job. Don't know what kind of relationship you have with your CCLOs. Sometimes it's good, sometimes not so good. But they are also under pressures. They don't always have full-time responsibilities for their community councils, and it can be added on to their job. So it's looking at ways how we can support community council liaison officers better to support community councils. I'll talk about that later on and put in why we went for that approach. We also wanted to explore why what's the wider role of community councils in sort of community planning partnerships, for example, and basically look at how other community organisations were incorporated into community planning partnerships, and also consulted on by local authorities and whatnot. So we did a little bit of research about that. And as I said, what was carrying out between the 1st of April last year and ends March 31st this year. So we now have a community council website, and it went live October last year, November last year. And really this was just the sort of work that was ongoing to kind of provide a basic understanding of what community councils do, what community councillors are doing, and also provide some good practice examples of how to do things like community engagement and run events. So and it also highlights some of the good work that community councils were doing. Just you want to?
Yeah.
So you can see the logo that was on there. We ran a competition amongst community councils to see who could design the logo. And Morningside Community Council won that. Anyone from Morningside here today? There we go. So do you recognise the logo? No. Well, your community council won that competition and designed a very fantastic, beautiful logo, as I'm sure you all agree. It's meant to be the little umbrella, and a lot of people underneath it meant to be community councillors. It's meant to be part of the one brand. So we worked with community councils on that, and also with the community council liaison officers to sort of design the website. We built the website, but the sort of content came from everybody. So I'm not going to go through everything. Part of today was just to highlight it to you. You should all be made aware of this website by your community council liaison officers. I say should.
Presumably you can send this, you've got our email addresses, we can have a link to this, can we?
Yes, absolutely, of course. If we've got email addresses, we can email this out. Just quickly show of hands as to who's Who's been told about this?
Well, told about what?
The website.
All Edinburgh was.
Right, excellent. So perhaps not everyone's being told things by the community council liaison officers. That's really useful for me to know because that's the main vehicle for which we're actually sort of running this project. I'll give you the reasons behind that later on. But if you're not getting told these things, it's important that I know. So one of the things we've been working on, you can actually see there's a nice advert about this digital engagement workshop. We will put more news and sort of events that are of interest to community councils on it as well. But really it just gives a very kind of basic induction level about what community councils do, what their role is, what your statutory requirements are, and we are looking to update it and improve it all the time. Bruce, do you want to quickly bring up the community council finder map?
Okay.
This was something that Bruce and Peter were working on. It's basically a map that allows you just to put in your postcode and it will throw up your community council or the nearest community council to you. We've also got a list of the local authority websites on this page, which also can direct you to your community council. So it's a way of people thinking, well, okay, this is community councils, here's what they do,
Sorry,
but how they involved, who runs them. So we have the information from local authorities and also a community council finder map, if we can get it up.
Yeah, it takes a wee while to load, unfortunately.
One of the great things actually about it, and Catherine from Scottish Government gave me some really useful feedback, is that when people were using that page and they were going onto the local authorities links, they were finding out that actually they couldn't find out very much about their community council and what one was supposed to be part of and whatnot. And it's actually prompted some local authorities to improve their links on their website. So that was actually a really useful part from that part of the website.
Embarrassingly, it's not happening.
Seems to be a little bit trouble loading it up. But not to worry, I think the main thing is you know about it and you can go on and have a look at it. We are going to be putting some more updates on it very shortly. As I said, we've been getting feedback since it was launched in November. And it'd be really useful. There's a contact address there as well, at the very top, who to contact. Just when we want to go back just to the main site.
Yep.
That was the right page.
Anyway, you'll see it when you go onto it. It's got a bit who to contact. So if you've got any feedback on the website, please do get in touch. It goes straight to Catherine at Scottish Government, who then passes it on to me to Patrick. It's been really useful so far.
Is anybody using it?
Sorry?
Is anybody using it?
Yes, actually, the figures, and Catherine, please keep me right with this because I've forgotten off the top of my head. In the first month, there were 5,000 odd hits on it, and
2 of those were me.
15,000 unique pages accessed. Talking about the countries it's coming from, there's obviously a few issues with you can see Tanzania. Please, Bruce, that'd be great. But please have a look at it. We will email you if actually that's a great point. If you've got emails, you can put that in. So there's future updates that are coming shortly onto the website. There is a video at the moment in terms of good practice of some things that community councils have been doing. We actually have been working on some more videos. In fact, actually the lady earlier on was talking about the oil. Yes. Were you part of the video that my colleagues came and interviewed? Yes, so we're working on some more videos as well to shout about some of the good stuff that you're doing, and that was one example of how you can set up that sort of programme that can help with the reduced oil prices in a sort of more rural community council. So we've got more of them coming shortly. We're going to have a section on planning as well. We didn't want to have it at the very beginning because we wanted to not to overwhelm people with the thinking we've got all this responsibility, when it comes to planning and licensing and whatnot, but we feel as though that's probably a little bit light on the website, so we've got that section coming. Just about the legislative context behind it and the statutory obligations, but also about good practice engaging your communities in planning matters. And also in terms of other sources of support, like the Planning Advisory Service, we do a lot of work to support community councils with planning.
And that's just links to the paper documents or the documents that exist on the websites now, is it?
In terms of the Planning Advisory
Yes.
Service, they've not written their part. They're going to provide us some information that they want to include, and then we'll see what's appropriate to put on the website. it might not always just be the planning advisory service. We want to kind of highlight good examples of areas of support that are there.
We've also
But
got
yes,
planning aid too.
sorry?
We've also got planning aid, which are very useful.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a numerous different organisations that can support you, but it's about understanding who can support you. Again, we're having a chat with the lady earlier on, and not being given any help from the local authority about what your planning role was. So perhaps these areas of support might be quite useful to you in the future.
Can I quickly,
Yes,
I've just
please do.
become a local community councillor in Mount Blair, which is past Blackgowrie on the way up to Ski. And I've done it because I'm trying to get the community a little bit more engaged in knowing what's going on in the area. And whether you like them or not, we're one of the areas that are going to be covered in turbines. And nobody knows about them, and nobody knows about changes to roads and things. But when I was told by one of the other neighbouring community councils that there were courses that you could go and do in the evening to find out what your rights and your duties and this, that and the other are. And Perth and Kinross don't do them anymore. So I thought I'd come to this and just meet some other people. But if we don't know what we're allowed to do and how far we're allowed to go or anything, what's the point of going to meetings 6 times a year or whatever? And so I would love to be able to find out more about what our roles are and how far we're allowed to go, and actually know more about the planning issues, because those are quite important to the community. But I'm here for communication.
Do you want to carry?
Good.
And I think that's maybe again with creating a network of people, you might be able to actually tap into some of the knowledge that's already there in the room today. So that's also another kind of useful aspect of today. Move to the next slide, please. Okay, so we have primarily engaged with the Community Council liaison officers. We've created a network for all 32 councils of people who are working on your community councils as the liaison officers. We've got biannual events to support them and a sort of range of issues and topics to kind of upskill them. And we also have an online community of practice. It's on the Knowledge Hub, which is again something that Bruce will talk to you about later on, which we've been keen on getting this group to be part of. It's basically just an online platform that allows people to sign up and you can talk in forums and ask each other questions and support each other in that way. So we've created this for the Community Council liaison officers. The reason we've gone down this route is because councils actually have a duty to support their community councils. Whether or not they do or not, it doesn't matter, they actually have a duty. And that was part of the reason why we went down this route. Rather than going down a route of having a sort of completely separate body to support community councils, which we did have in the past with the Association of Scottish Community Councils, which then folded, it didn't really work, so therefore we thought we'd try and strengthen the role of the community council liaison officers to then apply their sort of duty to support community councils. That's really all I want to talk to you about today, so just read the website, let you know about the project and what's been going on. And if anyone's got any questions, I've got contact details here. Please do get in touch. Please do have a look at the website, it's down the bottom, as well. We've got some contact details for improvement service if you want to know about some of the other work that we do. But the website's the main thing. Yes?
Just ask the community liaison officer actually said to the website at the chance on this.
Sorry, I'm struggling to hear you a wee bit.
Community liaison actually did circulate some research and did actually manage to look at that. I was just wondering about the actual design. I mean, there's a lot of good features of it. I was just wondering, do you actually send out consultations in the community councils or feedback, or did you just do it from
We put it out to the community council liaison officers. Before it went live, we sent the link, so it was live to the public. We sent it and asked for community council liaison officers to distribute it to their community councils and get feedback on it. We only got a handful of pieces of feedback on it, so this is again whether or not being made aware of it is another matter. So we did try to consult with it. Perhaps it wasn't really the best approach. It's looking like
there's a lot of good things that could have been incorporated on it. I think it's just at that design stage, the first thing rather than at the end. It's and that's what it's saying. There's opportunities to develop it. Right? Yeah. It's a good start. It's just important that they didn't consult people at the start.
so I'm struggling to pick that up.
So it's just I found it quite difficult to understand that they had the workshop for community councils, promote community councils, but didn't actually ask the community councils as an outside to what sort of things would help you?
But in terms of that, I mean, I can appreciate obviously that kind of looks, we did, the person who was actually working on this before after the project was a former community councillor, so he did again go out through some place of contact. But one of the primary approaches with this was to work through the community council liaison officers to then get the feedback from the community councils. Given the fact there's 1,300 community councils in Scotland, and no obvious ways to kind of contact them in terms of they don't even have necessarily email addresses. So well, I appreciate that again, it wasn't perhaps maybe the best way in the end, if most of you don't need to know about it, but that was the way we decided to go in terms of trying to consult. And again, we do appreciate the feedback on it, which is why we included the contact details, so that if you do have things that you want to change or whatnot, or suggestions for improvement, we really want to hear about that, and again, other dates that you'd like us to put up here. So the first thing is knowing about it, and then the second part is helping us to do something.
Running quite.
What's on it? And I've been on it, and that first page, with all that fashion stuff in it, looks like a cheap insurance agency. What is when you travel down, what is there of any interest to us? Because I've looked at it twice, as I said, not very fast. But there's nothing that made me think, I have a problem, I'll go to that website. Why would I go
You're
there?
probably an experienced community councillor, and I have to say the main aim for this project was the basic introductory stuff that actually, should be getting done in councils, that's actually perhaps not being done, and also that awareness raising for people. The vast majority of citizens outside this room have no idea community councils exist, what they do, what they are. They just don't know, and they don't really care, most of them as well, to be honest with you. So part of it was that introductory basic level of information. For experienced community councillors, there's not a lot there, but we are trying to increase the amount of videos and whatnot to show that some of the good work that can be done, which could perhaps be done in your own community council, but it's for a lot of new people, so that people trying to learn about the basics. That's the primary aim of it to start off with.
Much as